Everybody's wearing their GAR ribbon. We did not bring the buttons and ribbons that we have, but we do have several at home. So we just are really proud that we have them and we want to share them.
Is it mainly through family history that you're interested? Is your interest in history mainly through family history?
Yes. We are very interested in genealogy.
Right, exactly. And we just want to make sure that people can use this as an educational tool, not just us, but share it with other people from all facets of life. Because I think it's very, very true to the era that my ancestors grew up in.
That's wonderful, yes. So this is an area around Littlefield, Nebraska.
Perryville is what the chapter name was. Perryville. Mm-hmm. Right. And my great-grandfather, Joseph Littlefield, is right here, and he was one of the charter members of this Perryville chapter.
That's Joseph Littlefield, and he's second from the left.
Yeah, this gentleman here. And we have other pictures of him, and he hasn't changed. He's got the beard and everything. He's same guy that he was when that was taken.
And what amazes us is that here he is homesteading in the Litchfield, Nebraska area, living in a sod house, and he jumps on the train and goes out to Denver to a GAR meeting. And we know he did because we have the ribbons. Jumps on the train, goes to Illinois for a reunion of his unit.
He was a member of the Illinois Volunteers, one of the what is it, 102nd?
Company C.
Company C. And so he went to Illinois. He went wherever as part of this of him being a veteran of the Civil War.
But it shows how important GAR was to him and all Civil War vets, and how important GAR was at that time.
Do you know, did he come to Homestead immediately after the war?
No, he didn't. He was from Illinois, he stayed in Illinois, he married, he had 5 children, and he and his wife and children and his mother came out to the Litchfield area in 1879. And in 1881 his wife died, and he remarried, and his second wife is my husband's great-grandmother. So.
Do you know where the regiment drew from in Illinois, or where he was a resident of in Illinois?
Trying to think.
I do happen to have
another thing that's interesting about another relative of mine is on my mother's side, we don't have any information on this.
It's in the notebook.
Oh, okay. He was from German descent. He was from Germany, and he joined an Illinois volunteer group, and he was a guard for one of the prison of war camps in Illinois. And he was only in the service for, 11 months? But he was a guard. And
there's some pretty infamous Union camps in the Quad Cities area.
But this one was in the whole time, and he was from Mercer County.
Mercer County.
Okay.
Mercer County, Illinois.
Yeah. And then in 1904, he moved to Aurora, and then we know that this was sent to him. He died in 1911, so we know this was from anywhere from 1904 to 11 that this document was sent to him, and that's to commemorate his service in the Civil War.
Another interesting thing about him was that by the time he moved to Aurora, he was getting old. He was in his 70s, but he had this young family to support, so he couldn't physically, farm. So he became the traveling salesman. And we have a picture of him in his buggy, and he worked for...
That is a great picture.
Baker's Medicine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Kind of a traveling Walgreens, as you might think.
The traveling medicine man.
And that's a great stage photo, too, with him right there by the...
Yeah, by the horses.
This particular picture was taken in 1906. And in 1906, was the first time the whole family had been together for
Family reunion.
many years. And they had a family reunion in Aurora with the older children from the first wife and then the younger children. Plus the fact that Joseph had sisters in the area. So this picture shows Joseph and Charlotte and the older children, the younger children, and two of Joseph's sisters. And then they're in front of a brick home that they lived in at the time in Aurora. Aurora has lots of beautiful old homes, so we were hoping this would still be in existence, but it is not.
That is what a wonderful picture. Sort of a blended family.
Yeah.
And then Harry, who was the oldest of the second family, after he graduated, went out to Wyoming to homestead, and the older brothers helped him get started, cut down his logs, build his house.
We have a family story that Harry put together, and I think when he went out there, it cost him, he homesteaded, but it cost him like $2 an acre or something like that, because it was off of an Indian reservation, 160 acres. So that took most of his money, and so his stepbrothers helped him build the log house. Another thing that I was going to say about this picture, my grandmother shared stories with my father that she would ride with her father, you know, when she didn't have to go to school in summertime, a lot of time on these trips to the rural areas to stop at farmers' homes, and then they would stay overnight, and the farmer would fix them supper and breakfast and that sort of thing, and she would share these stories with my father. But kind of interesting.